Alrighty, so we have Tucker Lutz versus Kevin Aguilar. Kevin Aguilar coming off 3 consecutive losses, probably fighting for his job here. You don't see many UFC fighters at this level stay on the roster after they lose 4 in a row. And Tucker Lutz, he's making his UFC debut. He's been on the Contender Series a few times. I don't think he got a finish, that's why he came back, and then didn't get a finish again, but pretty impressive performances in both of those fights, and he's made his way into the big leagues now. So on the striking for these two, both have pretty nice hands. I'd say Aguilar uses boxing a little bit more. I think Tucker Lutz has good boxing. He has fast hands as well, but he just doesn't use it enough. He likes to get into the clinch, make it a ugly fight. Likes to on kicks at distance, low leg kick. Likes to attack that peroneal nerve area around the knee. Doesn't necessarily go for the low calf. I think he could do a lot of damage if he goes to the low calf. He's best when he's throwing combinations, but as I said before, doesn't really let his hands go enough, in my opinion, just because he does have really nice hands when he does let it go. For Kevin Aguilar, he also seems a little tentative recently, just because, I don't know, like in the Rosa fight, he seemed a little tentative. And that might have been because Rosa's kind of a, tricky opponent on the feet, but I think it's because he's had his bell rung a few times lately. I think Ige dropped him. I can't remember, but I think Rosa hurt him maybe? Didn't drop him, but maybe hurt him. And then, what's the Russian guy's name? Zuba. Zuba put him out. So yeah, I think he's had his bell rung a few times, got him a little bit tentative, but where he does his best work is in the pocket, and he didn't seem to be that willing to engage or, exchange in the pocket with Charles Rosa. So he tries to walk opponents onto his punches, and then he'll, slip and throw a 2-punch combination, a 3-2, 2-3, 1-3. Sorry, not 1-3, 1-2. He looks for the counter too, that's probably his favourite punch. He'll throw it to the body of the head. He got a little predictable with that, and that's how Dan Ige caught him, because he kept going for the counter 2 pretty much every time, and then Dan Ige got the read on it. Dan Ige, guy's got high fight IQ, he's going to make the read on that, and then caught him with a returning left hook, I believe, and then put him down. Kevin Aguilar, the problem with him is that he's always entering range in a linear manner, so he's just going straight on, he's not cutting an angle or anything, so if you have a good jab or if you have a good 1-2, you're going to catch him pretty much every time as he's entering range. And I think that's how he got caught in the Ige fight, and the Rosa fight was just the jab of those two guys. They just caught him every time he came in. And he does have his lead hand low on the back foot. He'll try to bring the shoulder up, but he doesn't necessarily get it up too often. And he is open to overhand rights and straight rights in that case against orthodox fighters. For Tucker Lutz, he doesn't have the best striker defense either. His head doesn't move. You saw him got hit quite frequently on the Contender Series. So it is, something to watch out for, because he has displayed a good chin, but it's not going to be there forever. So in the grappling department for these two, so for Tucker Lutz, he likes to shoot when his opponent squares their stance against the fence. That's when he looks to shoot for a double leg and, get a bit of top control from there. For Aguilar, he mostly looks to keep it on the feet and, stuff takedowns. So he looks to reverse takedowns by, peeling his underhook and then ending up on top when he's defending a takedown. When he does get taken down, he doesn't offer too much off his back, but he does have very good takedown defense. So how these guys win fights, so for Aguilar, he has very good takedown defense, as we talked about. For Tucker Lutz, he's well-rounded. He actually has really nice boxing, but he just doesn't use it enough. Both these guys have good hands, but, just Tucker Lutz just doesn't pull the trigger enough. And he seems to have a good chin, but as I said before, striking defense, a little concerning. Not going to be there forever. So how these guys lose fights, for Tucker Lutz, it's the defensive tendencies on the feet. We've already talked about that. For Aguilar, it's against fighters with good distance management, because he doesn't have the best footwork, so when opponents do have good footwork and good distance management, like Dan Ige and Zuba, he struggles with that. And he can be a little low volume if he doesn't find his range early. If he doesn't have success early, he seems to struggle later on in fights, because he can't seem to get a rhythm. He can't get into a rhythm in the fight. Also, his chin, I think it might be failing him a little bit now. His damage might have accumulated throughout his career, but it seems to be kind of withering a little bit lately. And he's been in some wars, Kevin Aguilar, so it might be failing him a little bit. And he doesn't really have a plan B. He doesn't won't switch up the game plan and go for the wrestling. He's mostly just a boxer. So if that's not working for you, then you don't really have too much to rely on. Alright, so path to victory for these two. For Kevin Aguilar, keep everything down the pipe. Just because his head's on a center line, it's there to be hit. And also, if he's going to shoot a double leg on the fence, look for Travis Brown elbows as he's stalling on the double leg. For Tucker Lutz, look for those leg kicks. He's pretty heavy on his lead leg because he likes to pop out the jab. But, you know, Aguilar is good at sliding out of the way of the leg kicks. He has pretty good defense to the leg kicks. But if nothing else, that stifles him for a moment, and he's not able to land his own offense, and he has to constantly think about it. So you might as well just throw him. Also, just finish combinations with the overhand right, the straight right, because as I said before, he drops his hand when he's backing up. So if you back him up with a combination, end it with a overhand right or a straight right, I think you can nail him with that. Also, the body kicks when you switch southpaw. Alright, so how I see the fight playing out. So I think Lutz could give Aguilar a bit of problems with his speed. Lutz also has the wrestling threat. I believe it will mostly be on the feet, but he also has the wrestling threat and he can change levels if he wants. Aguilar does have good takedown defense, but it's just there to be threatened. And also, Lutz mixes it up with the leg kicks as well, which is another thing Aguilar needs to be mindful of, whereas Lutz doesn't really need to be because Aguilar doesn't switch it up too much. On the feet, I think Lutz lands the better shots while also piling on the volume. The dude has good volume, which he showed in his Contender Series fights, but you know, I don't think Lutz is going to get Aguilar down to the mat. But even so, I just think he's going to be able to out-volume him on the feet, and I also think he's just in a better place mentally. I think Aguilar, he seemed a little passive in the Charles Rosa fight, so I didn't like that look on him, because he used to fight with a lot of aggression and used to get in your face, pressure, you know, pump the jab out. He just seemed a little gun-shy in the last fight. Also give the durability edge to Lutz so he can make more mistakes, whereas Aguilar, I think, I don't know, the chin seems to be withering a little bit. Both have good cardio, both will probably stick around till the final bell. I think it's going to be a competitive fight, and I think it mostly plays out in the feet, but I do see Lutz getting the better of it. So the prediction is Tucker Lutz by decision. I think the line's pretty much accurate, maybe a little bit too heavy in the favour of Tucker Lutz. I do think it's a very close fight. I slightly favour Tucker Lutz, so if you can get Tucker Lutz at like $2.15 or anything above that, then that would probably be the bet, but other than that, I don't really want to bet this fight. I think it's going to be very close. So yeah, I'm not really looking to bet this one, honestly. Unless someone becomes like a moderately sized favourite, like a $2.30, then I'd probably look at betting them. But generally I think this line probably should be nearer to a pick'em.